In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the higher proof versions of Guacamaya Tequila right here on the Tequila Hombre. Coming up next. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Tequila Hombre, where today you guys asked for it, so I promised I'd do it if enough people requested it, and enough people did. So we're going to give you the high proof versions of Guacamaya Tequila. We have a 54%, so 108 proof Blanco. We have a 46%. Let's see if we can get focus. 46% high proof Blanco. And a 54% high proof Reposado. Now I asked them if they did an añejo, and they said no. Añejo they think is perfect at the proof that it was at, so they didn't do a high proof añejo. They just did two different versions of the Blanco and then the high proof Reposado. And according to the owner of the brand, he says he thinks the 46 is the best. So we'll try the 46, we'll try the 54, and then we'll try the 54% repo. So let's not waste any more time. We're not going to get into the production of this because I already did it in the previous video. So I'll put a link to the regular expressions in the description so you can see how this tequila is produced and see the review of the regular expressions, the regular proof expressions. We're just going to jump right into the tasting portion and see what these high proofs are all about. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into the tasting portion here. So we're going to I'll do the 46 and the 54 side by side. So the one here on my left will be the 46. And the one on my right here will be the 54. All right. So let's take a look at these. So here's the 46. Let's take a look at it in the glass. So looking at it in the glass, it coats the glass nicely. You can see it's leaving some pearls on there. Some of these glasses that doesn't stick to it really well, but doesn't mean it's not viscous. It's just, you can see the pearls on it. Looking at the tequila itself, it's crystal clear. Looks beautiful. Now on the 54, this glass will probably coat a lot better. I don't know why that's happening. I've cleaned the glasses and stuff, but one glass just doesn't get the legs and stuff. But this one, you can see it's very viscous. Legs are starting to break on it there. There you go. See, look at it. So it's got a nice viscosity to it. It's going to have a nice oily, silky mouthfeel to it. Looking at the tequila itself, it's crystal clear. Looks beautiful. Let's see what we get on the nose. This is the 46. Just so you see, I get the 46 here. So it's on your left, your right, my left. So this is the 54. This is the 46. All right, so on the 46, ooh, really nice cinnamon and baking spices. You can tell that they cook the agave here for longer because it has that nice caramelized chocolate-esque kind of nose to it. And that normally happens when they go extra long on the cook and get the sugars to caramelize. Really nice cinnamon and baking spice notes to it. Smells wonderful. It smells really nice. Very sweet, sweet cinnamon. Almost like a honey note kind of on the top of it. Definitely chocolate. It smells really good. It smells really good. All right, so let's see what the 54 is like on the nose. Yeah, it's pretty much the same nose. Really nice cinnamon and baking spice notes to cook the agave up front. And then this caramelized, chocolatish kind of note to it, which normally when I smell that, I know that they cooked the agave for longer. They went for caramelization on the agave sugars. You can find that in a lot of tequilas. And it's very sweet, like sweet fruit notes to it as well. But it smells really good. Both of them smell really good. All right, so let's see. This is my first sip of high proof tequila, actually any tequila for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and get my mouth acclimated to 40+% to 46% alcohol. Get things to settle down first. All right, we're good to go. Salud. Nice and oily on the mouthfeel. Definitely rich cinnamon, sweet cinnamon and baking spice notes up front. Definitely picking up a nice chocolate caramelized sugar note to it. Now, this is not like an artificial, like a additive kind of chocolate note. It's more of the caramelized sugar that I talked about when cooking the agave for a long period of time. It's got a little bit of heat to it. And the heat carries that caramelized sugar, the caramelized chocolate note through the finish. You can still get that beautiful sweet cinnamon note on the finish as well. It's a really nice 46% Blanco. Nothing wrong with this at all. Definitely enjoyable. If you're somebody that likes more of the chocolate notes and stuff in the Blanco, mixed with the sweet cinnamon and baking spices, this would be a great one for you. So let's see about the 54 now. So this is the 54. Coats the mouth beautifully. So, bit of heat to it as well. Little bit of an anise kind of bitterness in the 54. It's kind of mid-palate. I didn't get that on the 46. But it's definitely got that caramelized chocolate-ish kind of note to it with the sweet cinnamon and baking spices. Really enjoyable. I think the heat's a little more on the 54, which you expected for higher proof. But it's good. It's good. So between the two, I personally would probably go more for the 46. So I think the owner was right in saying that he thought the 46 was better. The 54's got a kind of a belt to it. So if you're somebody who's normally like a whiskey drinker and you don't mind a little bit of heat behind your spirits, the 54 I think would be really good for you. And it also has a little bit of a astringency, a little bit of like anise bitterness to it that comes in towards the mid palate and lingers for a little bit towards the end, but then it finishes still with that caramelized chocolate sugar kind of note to it. Chocolate-ish kind of caramelized sugar note. But it's good. Both of them are good. I'd recommend them. Just understand, though, it's going to have a little heat to it. If you're somebody that doesn't like a lot of heat, then you probably wouldn't want to mess with these because they do have some heat to it. A little heat doesn't bother me. Sometimes I find, like right now, I still have a little bit of heat that's lingering on the exhale. You can pick up a little bit of heat from it, but still picking up some of the flavor notes. So it kind of extends the flavor profile where I'm getting like this caramelized sugar note still on my tongue from these. So they're good. So how would I rate these? I'd give these ones a solid 4 agave. They're good. There's nothing wrong with these at all. I think people would enjoy it. Just know that if you go for the 54, it's going to have a little bit of anise bitterness mixed in with it, but it's not bad at all. All right, so let's check out the 54% Repo next. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the 54%. Reposado. Nice good seal. Of course, they use artificial corks here, so you don't have to worry about any corks drying out and any evaporation and stuff, which is good. Pour a little bit in this in the glass. All right. So this is a 54%, so 108 proof Reposado. Now remember, Reposado doesn't mean that it's going to be light flavored. It doesn't mean it's going to be light colored. It just represents the amount of time that's spent in a barrel. So I know people say, well, that looks kind of dark for Reposado. Well, it all depends on the barrel that they get, how dark it's going to be. It has nothing to do with whether it's a Repo, Añejo, or extra Añejo. Those all just have to do with how much time that the tequila spent in the barrel. All right, so looking at it in the glass, coats the glass beautifully. Look at the legs and tears starting to form on that. So it's going to have a nice viscous mouthfeel to it as well. Looking at the tequila, it is crystal clear with a nice deep amber color to it. Looks beautiful, very appealing to the eyes. So right now we're tasting with our eyes. Now we're going to go check it out with our nose. And of course, then we do our mouth. Tantalize all the senses. All right, so on the nose. Interesting. Definitely picking up sweet cinnamon and baking spices. And then kind of like a wet wood note that's coming through on it. Not a whole lot of like, what is that note I'm trying to, it's kind of like a wet oak. A slight hint of like butterscotch that's coming through on it. Definitely picking up mineral from the water. Yeah, it's kind of a butterscotch and chocolate kind of note to it. It's got an interesting nose to it. It's a little different than what I'm normally used to, but it's not bad. It's just a little different. All right, so let's see what we get on the flavor profile. Really super silky and oily on the mouthfeel. Nice sweet cinnamon notes up front. A top honey note that's coming through. Maybe a little bit of sweet cherry that's in there as well. Slight vanilla note in there with a hint of caramel right on the finish. Just a little bit of caramel right on the finish. It finishes a little on the sweet side, which is kind of interesting. I don't think there's additives in it, but it's just, it finishes on the sweet side. Has a little bit of heat to it as well that kind of carries things through. Sweet cinnamon and baking spices up front. A little hint of like sweet cherry and then some little vanilla mixed in there. And then it finishes with this interesting sweet note to it. It's not bad. It does have a lot of heat to it. And I'm getting like a heat bite on my tongue from it. This one's a little rough, I think, for a high proof Repo for me. I think the regular Repo was actually better than this high proof. But again, if you're a bourbon person and you like, you know, that heat and the bite that like a bourbon or whiskey has, this might be right up your alley for that. I tend to steer away from bourbons and whiskeys now, just because for me, I don't like the extreme heat for them that comes with them. And for some reason, it tends to give me like indigestion. I don't think this is going to give me indigestion. But if you like that heat aspect to it, this 54 definitely would be in the whiskey bourbon side of things. But for me, it finishes kind of sweet, which is kind of strange. It's not bad. It tastes good. Definitely enjoyable, but it's not something that sits in my wheelhouse. So for me, it would be a pass on the 54% repo. I like the regular repo and the regular añejo. Those were really good. And I think the dilution helps with this, unless they use some different barrels or something with it, or I don't know. I may let this one sit and kind of open up a little bit and see if it changes. And then I'll let you guys know. I'll give you an update on it later when I have a chance to revisit it. But from the first pour, I'm not a fan of the 54% repo. I do like the Blancos, but they're still, when I'm looking at a Blanco like that, I don't want so much of the chocolate notes coming through for me. For me, I like to look for more of the rich cooked agave notes coming through. But if you're somebody that likes the chocolate caramelized sugar thing, these things, the 46 and 54 would be great for you. So there you go, Guacamaya. It's not bad. It's just, for me, it doesn't sit in my flavor profile where I like to see things for like a good Blanco and Repo. It's too rich on the caramelization. I'd like to see them ease back on the caramelization a little bit and let more of the agave notes punch through on them. But they're good. And I think you'd enjoy them if you like them more chocolatey and stuff. If somebody that is likes the additive stuff, wants something that's not additives, but it's sweet, I think these would fit the bill perfectly for that as well. It's a solid tequila line. It's just the flavor profile really doesn't sit great for me. Okay, so if you like the information I shared in this video, make sure you click the thumbs up and give me a like. If you're new to the channel, bienvenido, welcome. And if you like unbiased reviews like the ones I just did, and unbiased information, where I'm not paid any money by the brands, so I give my just honest, unbiased opinion on everything, all the reviews that I do, then make sure you click the subscribe button right there and the notification bell next to it so you get notified every time I post a new review and new informational video that will help you in selecting tequilas that'll fit what you're looking for, so you end up buying something that you don't like. And until next time, like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila. So hey, if you want to pick up some Guacamaya, I recommend it. It's good. I just would stick with the regular expressions, unless you like caramelized sugar, chocolate-ish kind of notes in your Blancos and a little sweetness in your Repos. Then these would suit the bill perfectly for you. Salute. Bye, guys.